Perfect. So now that we have concluded the sessions, the next important element in the agenda, and when I polled it on the messages with various audience members, uh, they have requested that we continue the session and conclude it with the awards, which everyone has been patiently waiting for, rather than take a break and join back. So and it works well for me, given that it's 4:35 in the morning here in Boston. So let me explain to everyone on the conference, as to how we select papers. It will certainly be educational to think about the future conferences that we do and how you participate in it. SCC is a community curated conference, which means we select members from various organizations who are practitioners, and these are jury and advisory members. They decide on what are the topics that we need to address, what are the tracks that we need to look at, and they also look at what should be the criteria for evaluating a paper. So we work with the advisory team. They are primarily community chosen members and representatives from various organizations within the Indian ecosystem. Once we select them, the next step we do is to call for papers, which is where an audience member would present an abstract, an intent, and explain that he would like to present at the conference. This applies to both keynotes as well as practices, as well as papers, as well as tutorials. The initial form comes out somewhere in the month of April, May, and then we wait till around 3 months to collect all the required papers. In the 3 months this year, we received approximately 476 submissions from various organizations. I think it's around 165 organizations submitted their practices. And from these, we do the first level of screening is done at QAI with our own internal subject matter experts, where we screen through the entire information. We see the abstracts, we read the titles, we see the organizations that they're coming from, we see the kind of experience the individuals have, and then we kind of screen what we consider as relevant for the theme that we choose. The relevance to the theme, once we have chosen, we also check for plagiarism. So we have a tool at the back end which looks at all the paper content, reads through the content, and gives us a suggestive, if anyone has picked up from Google or cut, copy, paste from any kind of a journal available, it tells us that this is something that is already published. Once we find those unique set of practices that we like, which are relevant to the theme, please understand, many a times we receive content which may not be relevant to the theme. So a lot of people also may get rejected, though their practice is very good, but it's not relevant to the context of the conference. So we classify them into two categories. One is the published category. The published category is it's a good practice. It's something that the world needs to know, and it certainly gets classified and put into what we call as a best practice warehouse. The second category is these are relevant papers for the conference, and we need to send them to the jury so that they could screen it. Every year, when we conduct the regional rounds, it would happen in 6 different cities, and various organizations support us on this initiative. CGI from Bangalore, Minds from Hyderabad, Deloitte from Mumbai, Amdocs from Delhi, and we have Capgemini from Pune, and we have Cognizant from Chennai, regularly supported. In the past, QA Infotech. So there are organizations which support the regional rounds, by providing us the facility, by providing us the environment, and on the same day, across all locations, people participate in presenting their papers to different panels. This year, we could not have that luxury, so we actually did everything in a virtual mode, and we had 36 jury members broken into 5 different panels, who have gone through these papers. And each one from the 276 that we have narrowed down, from the 200 that we narrowed down for the presentation point of view, we looked at only 82 of them to be faced with the jury. The additional screening step this year was to ensure that the quality of the content at the conference is improved drastically, because we had very little scope of adding more papers. So we had to select 20 papers and our ratio always is 10%. So that's how we kind of broke it down. And then we finally screened twice and thrice, to come to a number called 82 papers. And those 82 papers were what were submitted to jury given the limitation of time, because each panel can see in a day approximately, like, given 20 minutes of time on an average, they would see 3 papers an hour, which is around 25 papers in one panel. So we can't go beyond 125, however number of submissions we receive. So we had given, out of the 476, 200 papers were sent to were cleared for publication. Out of the remaining 276 papers, we had given 82 people to the jury to actually look at for the regional rounds. And out of the 82, we selected 21 papers, which could be presented at the conference. So what you see as content in front of you has gone through a very rigorous process of selection by the community, and by the jury and advisory members. So firstly, for this great content that you have seen, and if you believe it's great content, I think we should all thank the jury, because it's completely voluntary. There is no commercial involvement or money paid to any of the jury members. They do it purely for furthering the practice. So I would like to personally thank all the jury members, especially 36 of them who have really contributed, taken time to screen each and every element to give you this great content. So after they select the 20 papers, the selection, the finalization of the awards is not even done at that time, because each jury does not have a complete view of the papers from each and every member. So the final 2 days of the conference are treated as a way of final selection. So as you remember, you are going through various rounds, you're going through various tracks, presenting all your papers. Audience were seeing it, the jury members were also present at the conference. They have watched your videos, they have watched your presentations, and they've also met, at 1 o'clock today, India time, to really look at, who are the top 3. And this time, as I understand from the comments from the jury in the mail, it's a very tough competition, because the screening was so tough, naturally, each one of the 20 members who are presented at the conference are fantastic speakers. And without doubt, they had great practices, which I think will become examples to the world. And we certainly would love to have more sessions with each one of them in a longer duration. And I'm sure there are a lot of questions every member has. So it's certainly a pleasure to have all of you. In a physical conference, this would have been the most exciting moment where I would announce the awards. But in a virtual one, I'm limited by the distance and limited by the technology to create a confetti and a fanfare. So without much ado, let me announce the top 3 papers in the reverse order. So first I'll be announcing the runners-up. And again, before I announce these, please understand, it is completely, all the 20 are winners according to me. However, there are only 3 spots that we need to honor. So that's why we have to rank them and we have to grade them. But so in the runners-up, the second runners-up position, this year we have a tie. And we have 2 organizations contesting in that place and who have won the second runners-up position. The first one, which I can mention, is Automated Quality for Hotstar Content Factory by Pavitra and Ekta Arora from Hotstar. They are the second runners-up. Along with them, sharing this award is Jagdish Venugopal, Vivek Sejpal from Capgemini for their paper on automated impact analysis for unattended continuous testing. Congratulations for all of you for the second runners-up position. In the first runners-up position, this time we have Hemant Kumar Akhil Bhardwaj from Onyx, a one-stop solution for usability and accessibility powered by AI ML. Congratulations to you. The first, or the winner for this year's Best of the Best award, and I have no doubts in announcing this because, Dr. Kiran Mari, Karthikeyan Swaminathan, Dr. Rakesh Rajagoda from CSS Corporation for the paper on the Whys, Whats, Hows of content testing. and engineering QA approach. Just for information, Kiran, this is your second time that you're winning the Best of the Best awards. Congratulations, and really pleasure to have all of you on this forum.